YouTube, and welcome to the Weekend Salaryman. My name is Stuart and I'm on a mission to document my journey as a photographer and videographer using the Fujifilm ecosystem, sharing the gear and the settings that I use, all while showing you how I spend my downtime here in South Korea. If you're new to the Fujifilm ecosystem or you're simply looking for some creative inspiration, then be sure to hit like and subscribe as I share with you my creative process, all while showing you the best that South Korea has to offer. Now in this week's video, I want to talk about a film sim which I feel gets overlooked a lot of the time in the Fuji ecosystem in favor of other simulations, and why this has proven to be such a pleasant surprise for me shooting with my Fuji X-S10 and how I've come to use it so often. The film sim that I'm talking about is Velvia. Now Velvia is known to be one of the more saturated film simulations within the Fujifilm sim range, and on the scale I believe they place it at one of the highest saturations and also hardest tonalities, which lends itself to very specific use cases. I'm going to be talking about the history of Velvia and why this really vibrant saturated film simulation deserves more love within the Fujifilm community. So let's take a trip back in time and find out exactly where Velvia came from. So Velvia was inspired by Fujichrome Velvia 50, which was a legendary color reversal film known for its incredibly vivid saturation and fine grain. It was originally launched by Fujifilm back in 1990 and quickly became a favorite amongst landscape, nature and travel photographers for its ability to capture lush, vibrant colors. The story goes that Velvia was engineered specifically to reproduce the vivid blue of the sky, along with the bright greens of foliage and forest scenes. It did this extraordinarily well while retaining plenty of highlight and shadow details. Velvia 50 gained a cult following amongst outdoor photographers and was nicknamed the landscape photographer's film for its bold, saturated look. It became synonymous with colorful travel brochures and nature photos, and that definitely sounds like the 90s. When Fujifilm launched their digital camera line with film simulation modes, emulating the legendary Velvia film was a natural choice. And so the Velvia recipe was born, aiming to recreate the vibrant look that made the original Velvia 50 so iconic and sought after. Now, through this recipe, Fujifilm has succeeded in bringing the lush, vivid rendering of the original Velvia into the digital age. And this definitely, I have found, is used a lot amongst landscape photographers, definitely less so amongst people who shoot, street or documentary photography, but it definitely does have a place for a lot of landscape photographers. The key, however, to using Velvia, I find, is to definitely use it in the right situations. The POV that I'm showing you right now is from an area in Seoul called Euljiro, and Euljiro is a part of Seoul that has for sure gone through some urban renewal and urban regeneration over the past, I would say, decade or so, and to a point now where it's attracted definitely a younger crowd, and it has remodeled itself to attract this younger crowd by showcasing a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants, and the signage here is particularly gripping. And I found that Velvia definitely works best for these types of situations, and I've definitely shot Velvia before in similar kind of areas like Shinsa. I've done a video on that. Velvia is just the perfect film sim to really make these kinds of scenes pop. I find that the trick with using Velvia is to control your saturation and also ensure that you get your white balance correct. Some people like to go really kind of reddish on the white balance or really warm. I prefer to keep it cool and kind of have these shades of red and slightly warmer tones only in a very subtle, controlled manner. Of course, one of the film sims that I have, or recipes rather, that I have showcased a lot on this channel is Neon Velvia, and I just love the look of that particular recipe because going back to previous kinds of pictures that I used to shoot when I was shooting on Sony, a lot of the time those would almost look very similar to the straight out of camera JPEGs that Neon Velvia produces. If you crank up the dynamic range, then you also get a film sim that is very forgiving in terms of retaining shadow detail, which works well with high contrast scenes, especially at night. Now, I have to be honest, while I'm not sure that I would shoot portraits with Velvia, probably stick to Provia for that, but you know, there have been some interesting results with people who shoot portraits on Velvia, although I'm not sure that's exactly my cup of tea. All said though, I have been loving how Velvia renders for really dramatic results, especially at night, sometimes during the day, and you know, for sunset shots and sunrise shots, I find that it simply can't be beaten in terms of richness, tonality, and color depth. So if you've been curious about, you know, shooting more with Velvia on your Fujifilm, then be sure to drop a like and hit subscribe as I share with you my creative process, all while showing you areas like this in South Korea and all that it has to offer. So I finally found a vantage point that is actually high enough to fit me in, and I'm shooting this on the Viltrox 23mm f1.4, which I probably will do a review on at a later stage. But this pretty much wraps up this very short night of shooting in Euljiro. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the most motivated to do this, but I just thought, you know, this is my one chance to really explore the area properly alone and really test out this neon Velvia recipe, which has become such a firm favorite of mine over the past few months, I guess, of shooting, and kind of get a feel for Euljiro. It really is a bustling area, and you know what, it actually reminded me a lot of that area in Tokyo. I think they call it Piss Alley. It's like in Shinjuku, especially the one little alleyway in Euljiro, like the beer alley, I think it is. But yeah, very similar vibes. And so yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've just come off like working 9 hours at the plantation, and I wasn't really keen on this, but I'm really glad that I got out here and that I did shoot, and I hope you guys enjoy the images that come from this shoot in this video. I hope you enjoy the POV as well. And you know, I find the POV, did it in Bangkok, and it's just such an immersive way of I guess street photography storytelling as well, you know. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up the video for tonight. Velvia, I still feel it's one of the more underappreciated film sims in the Fuji lineup, and I hope this video has convinced you, or at least prompted you to try it out for yourself. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Weekend Salaryman. If you're looking for another street photography POV, specifically this time in Bangkok, then be sure to click on this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.